What is going on, my fellow variants? My name is Noah Booker, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and you love Marvel content, please subscribe to my channel. We are so close to 50 subscribers. I would love to meet that number before we get into August because I have a crazy review coming for the Suicide Squad. So excited for that movie. But today, I'm going to break down my thoughts and impressions of Season 1 of Loki and that crazy ending. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into my breakdown of Season 1 of Loki. So after, in my opinion, a pretty rough year for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with a lot of Phase 4 content so far not really being my cup of tea, Loki, guys, is definitely that shot in the arm I needed to get me back on the bandwagon for everything Kevin Feige and Marvel have coming to us, because Loki is that good. Right off the top, I love what they did with the characters. Sylvie and Mobius and even Alligator Loki are some of my favorites from the show, and oh my god, they actually opened up the multiverse and introduced Kang the Conqueror. Yes, I called it all the way back in my first video for Loki Season 1 breakdown that they would introduce Kang by the end of the show, and I'm so glad they did, guys. Kang is such a cool villain, and I'm so glad to see where he shows up next, because now that the multiverse is broken open and all those points have been broken on the timeline, I am so excited to see what other variants of different characters we might actually see, and I think Loki might actually show up earlier in such films as maybe Spider-Man No Way Home and even Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But by far, my favorite thing about Season 1 of Loki has to be all the variants, whether it's Sylvie, Old Man Loki, Kid Loki, Thor Loki, or and even Alligator Loki being one of my favorites. Guys, Sylvie is by far now one of my favorite female MCU characters. She is so demanding when she's on screen. Her story is so tragic and detailed, and I cannot wait to see where she shows up next, because guys, I think her story is just beginning. Her and Loki had such great chemistry, and I was really hoping at the end they would somehow make it work, but alas, Sylvie had to do what she did. She had to complete her mission and kill Kang, and it was so gut wrenching to see Loki get teleported to the TVA, or what I think might be another version of the TVA, because now the multiverse is open, wide open. That can happen. But Sylvie is one of my favorite characters in the MCU right now, guys, and I cannot wait to see where she shows up next. But talking about that final scene we got with Loki looking at that monument of Kang, it really actually reminded me of the final scene in the very first Planet of the Apes movie, where that character rides off into the sunset and sees what is left of the Statue of Liberty, or a version of it, and he just falls to his knees in defeat. That is what I got by the end of the series, and I thought that if it was true, a true Easter egg, I thought that was great, because Loki has now been defeated. We don't know where he's going, where he's going to show up, but I'm hoping with all of this going on, of course, we might see him in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but we are getting a season 2 of Loki, so I'm interested to see how that will pan out, if Sylvie's still in it, or are we going to follow this Loki now in this timeline with this version of the TVA and Mobius, or are we going to somehow get him back to his timeline? Who knows? That is the amazing thing about the multiverse now. They have so many options and so many characters they can choose from, because I would love to see more variants of Loki moving forward. Like, the possibilities are endless. So guys, let me know in the comments below which version of Loki you would like to see show up, because the possibilities are endless. With one of the biggest takeaways of Loki Season 1 being the multiverse and the multiverse war, I have to think that with what Kang was saying, we are actually going to get another version of the multiverse war, and that to me sounds so exciting and intriguing, because the possibilities are truly endless with the opening of the multiverse and what characters you can pick from and bring into the MCU. Like in Spider-Man No Way Home, are we actually going to get to see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield? And in Doctor Strange, I mean, what characters can he pull in? Because Kevin Feige, if you're watching this somehow, I don't think you will ever watch my videos, but if you do, can we please get Nicolas Cage back as Ghost Rider? Nicolas Cage is a great actor. Please let him have another take as Spirit of Vengeance, because he was fantastic in the first movie at least. But like, the possibilities are endless. Like, can Hugh Jackman show back up as Wolverine? Because I mean, Logan was his final movie, but he has been seen with Kevin Feige lately. So what does this all mean? The possibilities are endless, guys. I think this is such a great and clever start for the next phase of Marvel, because like for phase 2 and phase 3, it was all kind of spelled out for us with a few minor changes, like the Inhumans movie being canned, of course. But like, this just opens up the void. Like, we don't know what's coming, and that to me is so entertaining. It's so like we don't know, and that's so fascinating to me. So I'm excited to see where this all goes from here, because I think Marvel is heading into some pretty wacky and crazy places, and I'm so excited for that. Those are just some of my thoughts about Loki season 1 and where I think they might go with season 2 and what this means for the multiverse and where he might show up next and what this means for other characters and other stories moving forward. But guys, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. We are so close to 50 subscribers. I would love to get to that benchmark before the end of the year. But guys, that's all I have today. Remember, please be good people. We are all variants in the multiverse. And guys, with all that being said, have a good day, have a blessed evening, and I'll see you next time.